Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to another episode of Warplan Orange as the Allies with Super Dreadnoughts, aka No Washington Naval Treaty, in 1926, where we're actually advancing in the war. Which I guess isn't too surprising. The Japanese start with a very hard position. It actually makes me a little bit more excited to play on the Japanese side. I'm wondering how much is AI incompetence? Like, is it just mismanaging things a little bit? Or is it simply just the situation? I don't know. Either way, one of the bonuses of using Allied subs in 1926 rather than 1942, the torpedoes work. Oh, hello. Ah, this will be near Wake. Ah, tankers at that. That is one thing we have done, is we've managed to sink a lot of Japanese merchant shipping. And that's got to be starting to add up. The question is, how many do they have? This is against tankers. I'm not going to watch that whole thing. Sink both of them. All is great. Really, what I should do is get a cruiser force bombing Vegan. Alright, they did something. I should get a cruiser force and set that in front of the battleships. So the battleships are there mostly to counterpoint any strong Japanese response. The cruisers can use less supplies. Battleship guns blowing up transports is a bit silly. Allied bombardment at Vigan. Alright, we have 2nd Indian Division moving. November. West Coast is good. Supplies in Pearl Harbor are increasing. Bring our replenishment ships in. And now that I've had the idea, let's take a look. What ships do I have available? I can actually set up the cruisers. 3 old heavy cruisers, unfortunately. Do we use light cruisers instead? Oh, we have 1. Alright, we have a few more. So, the heavy cruisers, maybe not so much because they're slow. But the light cruisers we can use separate of destroyers independently. Anything that's fast we'll grab. That might not be enough. So we'll add in some destroyers. Everything else is kind of slow. We do have a lot of destroyers. So we'll use the 2 cruisers as destroyer leaders. Oh, I don't want to steal from other divisions though. Almost did that, so might do the heavy cruiser route instead. Well, I can still do this. I can do both. We'll do the light cruiser leading a squadron of destroyers. Punish from port. Control. Do not turn. Reaction. Always set that reaction to a little bit less. Let's go with 1. And then form a new task force, service group. Charlotte, Frederick, and Charleston. We'll grab the slower light cruisers. That one's in a task force. So then we'll just grab forward destroyers. Be more than enough of an escort. Flash from port. Max reaction 2 instead of 1. Send them to midway. We'll get those up around Wake. The next replenishment ship up and moving. Leave the rest. Joliet. We have these guys. Disband that task force. Send the battle cruisers to Mackinac Atoll to resupply. And maybe we'll do that with the transports as well. So right here we have undamaged. They're in a task force already. Take the Torrens and the Anzac. Home base is Joliet. We will set them. We will not set them to retire. We'll send them to Mackinac Atoll. They'll grab the fuel that's there and move it forward. Logistics chains. They're still loading up the 3rd Indian Division. Not Argus. Oh no, it is Argus. About to arrive in Singapore. Really worried about her for a couple turns. Glad she made it out. Where is 2nd? There needs to be a find button for this game. So many nice quality of life improvements over the years. They're just missing from these old games. Makes it hard to play them sometimes. So 2nd Indian Division is in Singapore now. So we'll bring over 2 Indian Divisions. Perfect. I think that is everything at the moment. Finish from ports. Go plug that gap. Finish from port and go plug that gap. Do we fill in the shorter gap as well? We do have the subs for it. Move this one. And then we'll end the turn. See where that leaves us. Yep, S-38 did not make it. engagement, as usual, pretty ineffective. Allied embarkment a little bit more. They pull out some troops. I think that's probably their estimate variance. Pay a little bit more attention to that over the next couple turns, see if it looks like they've removed some troops. Then we might actually try for an assault. 29th of November. It's almost the last month of the year. Nothing on the west coast. Plenty of supplies up in Hawaii. We have our cordon set up. We may set it up a little bit differently. Do this. The forces I have now, and seeing that they come in on this vector direct, we'll set the weaker battleship forces northwest and southeast and the stronger force in the center. That way they can react to handle things. Battle cruisers and transports heading down to Makin Atoll. Nothing new at Singapore. Heading southeast. All right. Oh, got a piece of the Azuma. Part 19, hero of the day. 3 torpedoes. Azuma's probably not going to make it. And there we go. A really small battleship. Granted, the organs are very old. Sunk and heavy damage. Alright, so we have additional troops moving up. Low damage this round. And 30 November. Tankers, load fuel. Send them to Pearl Harbor. I think we have enough fuel now that as transports come back, I'll look at sending troops instead. Troops do we have? 2nd and 3rd U.S. Division. Alright. Set up there. No retirement for the moment. It takes care of the West Coast. Pearl Harbor, lots of supplies. Lots of transfers. We have our cruiser divisions heading out. We can now replenish these guys. Uses up some of these supplies. Although it's only fuel right now, what I need are supplies. What other replenishment ships do we have? AD, is that replenishment? That doesn't seem right. Oh, it's a destroyer tender. That's what an AD is. Then we have the subtenders. Let's grab the ADs. We'll just keep them all in the same so we're not crowding the display as much. Then we have our ASW patrol. We have our transports. We have our amphibious. Should be some... Well, let's see. Replenishment. What ships do we have available? We do have the Sapello. That's it. Not a lot. So as soon as we run out of... Really, I'll send this oiler up to the northwest. They'll resupply them. And down here to resupply them, I'll send them back. They'll unload fuel, reload supplies. Speaking of which, how is Pearl Harbor? Are any of these... Yeah, go ahead and disband you. Alright, so that's transport. That's a tanker. We'll load fuel. Send it forward. Midway. Home base Pearl Harbor. Transport. Load supplies. Send forward. Pearl Harbor. Load more supplies. Send it forward. And then tanker Pearl Harbor. Load fuel. Send forward. That's what we'll do. We'll do another massive logistics push for Midway, and then we'll try to keep those battleships and cruisers once they get up there on station. Everybody's down in Mackinac Atoll. Replenish port. Head back up to Joliet. How much is left? Okay, on supplies, we're going to load up the fuel and move that. Oh yeah, and I have all these guys just hanging around down here. Should leave the Philippine Reserve Division and probably move all the rest of them up to Manila. What do I have available? Hermes is just chilling by itself. Transports. What have we got available? We've got a tanker, a couple tankers. That's it. I think we need to send some transports. Oh, I already did. They're headed to Davao. Their home base is Davao. As soon as they get back, we'll change their home base to Manila, load them up with the troops there, and send them. Everything's good in Singapore. We now have extra infantry available now. Who else is moving up? What are their assault values? Be a while, but we'll wait for them. Can we do a bombardment with these guys? We sure can. Why aren't we? What? No, 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 no. Bombardment. Bombardment. Defensive. Set all. And Vigan. Alright, I have that set as well. Everyone who's supposed to bombard, bombarding. No. Bombard. Bombard, bombard, bombard. Do I want them bombarding? How's our supplies? Supplies required. Yeah, we'll just do a full bombardment. We'll see how that continues to work. These ones gotta be getting close by now. They are. And I think with that, northwest, southeast, northeast. Moving northwest. Keep hitting capital ships over here. It's great. But December we'll have to wait for next time. I appreciate you staying till the end. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Take care.